everyone. This is Alceron, or the artist formerly known as the Great Roberto. I'm playing around with lighting on these videos. I've never been happy with the lighting in here. It's fucking terrible. So I have a little lamp that I'm playing with, moving around. Hopefully, it'll look good. Yeah, but whatever. Alright, today I want to talk about sex magic. Magic in general, but sex magic specifically. Let me get into that. All of my life, looking back, I've always used magic as a tool for accomplishment, but it's been very sporadic. You know what I mean? Just like everything I've done in a lot of cases has been like that. It sort of started out sporadic, and then as time goes on, it becomes more of an everyday thing. And it's sort of happening now with the magical understandings as what a tool it is, because really magic, if you want to get right down to it, magic is nothing more than self-hypnosis. Really is what it is. I mean, if you want to really get right down to that, magic is just self-hypnosis, and you're using a perfect example of that is you may have heard of this thing out there called, I believe it's called EFT tapping. And what that is, in case you don't know what that is if you have some type of fucking problem in your life, whatever it is, what the theory is that you tap on certain body parts in a certain sequence, and you say something like whatever you say, and then at the end of what you say, and I love myself and all that shit, you know what I mean? But the whole thing is nothing more than a self-hypnosis ritual. That's all it is. The fucking shit you're tapping on. They like to present it as, because you're tapping on these specific points, that's what's doing it. No, it's just a ritual. It's just a fucking magical ritual. That's all it is, and it's a self-hypnotic ritual. You know what I mean? You're reprogramming your subconscious. And you're giving, in the tapping, the physical act of tapping is just a fucking justification for your brain to overcome resistance, because you're actually doing something. So it's like, okay, well, I'm physically doing something, so I must not be just thinking. I'm actually taking action, and it removes the restrictions of your fucking brain. It's sort of the guard, the gatekeeper of your brain or your mind sort of falls asleep at the wheel, I guess, and you're able to slip past. That's all hypnosis is, too. It's just overcoming your own fucking resistance to transformation, subconscious transformation, so you don't live your life on autopilot like an asshole anymore, like everyone does, including me. Everybody is, but the more you become aware of it, that's what magic is, it's self-hypnosis. But I've been working on, one of the vehicles for magical fucking acts is what's called chaos magic. And I may be off on this, but here's how I understand it, basically. Chaos magic, an example of chaos magic would be using sigils to manifest a desired result of some kind. And the theory behind that is the sigil, when you build the sigil, I'll show you an example of a sigil in a minute. But when you build a sigil, what you're doing is putting the desire into a symbolic form that is ultimately, eventually recognized by your subconscious mind for all the characteristics of what this symbol represents, and your subconscious mind goes to work on that, because your subconscious mind doesn't. Your subconscious mind uses symbology to fucking work. And so that's what sigil in the sex magic aspect. Now, some people might be thinking, "Oh, you're just a pervert, and you're using any excuse you can to masturbate." Well, you're right, but no, actually, that's not true, because what I do now. Let me give you a quick example of what people say to do with sigils. And I'll show you a sigil right now. This is a current sigil that I constructed. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what it's for. I don't need to. The sigil should work subconsciously for everybody. But this is my sigil, and the um, expression of mantra that goes along with this sigil is Antrantalan. And then you get in a sexual state and you chant the word Antrantalan, you know what I mean, into a chant, right? And along with the fucking chant, the vocalization of chant and the visual image of the sigil, that works. It's supposed to work in your subconscious mind. And then you get out of your way. And then one of the elements of chaos magic is you stop thinking about, as much as you can, the desired goal, because the idea is that your conscious mind is cock-blocking your subconscious from going to work. That's basically what it's all about. And that's how that's supposed to work. But the vehicle of using sexuality is because as a conduit for a result is because sexuality is an intense emotional state. You should be getting into a very intense state when you're in a sexual state, and that's why you do that. And what they say to do is you look at the sigil at the moment of ejaculation. But I don't do that because I don't ejaculate purposely anymore. And it's also, in my view, you can look at my sexual videos on ejaculation control, sexual mastery, and all that. I get into it more. But for me, using ejaculation in sexuality at all is a crude example of sexuality. I mean, it's separate. Let me explain it like this, in a nutshell. Sexuality is coincidentally linked with reproduction, but they're really two different things. You could say that the sexual joys and pleasures are associated with the act of reproduction for an evolutionary goal, if you will, to reproduce yourself, and that's fine. That's fine. I'll go along with that wholeheartedly. But sexuality is more powerful than just reproduction. Reproduction is just in there sort of as an aside. It's in there so you'll reproduce, I guess, whatever it is. But sexuality is so much more than just reproduction. In the reproduction acts do not need to be in sexuality. As a matter of fact, the reproductive aspects of sexuality are inhibitors to the true power of sexual energy. So you learn that in the Taoist tantric modalities of sexuality. So what I do is I get into the deep sexual state and you don't ejaculate, but that's actually more powerful. That's more advanced than using the ejaculation to look at the sigil, because fuck, what do you ejaculate for a couple seconds? I mean, you're in this state for a couple seconds, and that's an inferior state. Ejaculation is an inferior state of sexuality. It's shit. It's fucking shit. So if you're sitting there watching this and you think, oh man, I love to bust a nut. I fucking love to come. It's like, oh, I love it. Oh, fuck, it feels so good. You are fucking not even on the threshold of the true power of fucking sexuality. That you're like fucking stubbing your toe on fucking, it's like on the fucking threshold and falling flat on your face compared to the true depth of ecstasy that is inherent in sexuality when you bypass the fucking infantile desire to fucking come. You're dealing with, it's weak. I mean, it's like talking to a fucking baby, really, and I want to emphasize this because that's how important it is. If you're ejaculating, your goal is to ejaculate, you're a fool, really. So anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm getting into these fucking hypersexual states. I mean, a fucking frenzy. I'm in these states, and I'm like, and that's the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in this completely transcendental state to where logic is turned off. That logical part of your mind is gone. You are incensed. You are entranced. You are fucking alive with the lust of creation flowing through your being. And that's where you want to be in sexuality. Your body is moving, you're moaning, you're fucking writhing, your lips, you're sucking, you're fucking, you're all of it. You're doing all these things, and you are completely, you are sex. You are the energy of sexuality manifesting in this reality. It's fucking divine. And then you look at the sigil. And then when you're in that hypersexual state, looking at the sigil, now you're chanting the linguistic representation of the sigil at the same time. That's fucking magic. That's where the magic is. That's the power. And then I'll get into constructing the sigils a little bit later. I mean, you know, this is sort of an introductory video. You know, I'll have to get into it more. But the sexual energy is so powerful. It is one of the most gloriously beautiful, powerful states ever. Now, I've said that. You know, I've been in deep psychedelic states so bad that I don't, so deep that your brain starts to warp and twist, and you don't even understand what you're looking at. And I've always said that nothing, not even that, compares to the pure beauty of sexuality. Right? So the idea of this video is to just explain what sex magic really is, and it's not about just looking for some excuse to bust a nut. That's infantile. Like I said, that's infantile. That's not using sexuality properly. That's, as a matter of fact, busting a nut too often, I mean, is a very detrimental act, and it'll suck the life out of you. Your vital essence is linked with that fucking act of ejaculation. I mean, you're losing something. I can't tell you exactly what it is. You know, they call it chi, they call it kundalini, they call it all this shit, but when you ejaculate like that, you squander that. And it's something, and as a matter of fact, for those of you who do watch my sexual mastery videos, I'm currently at 49 days without ejaculating. My record is 60, and that was the time right before this, and before that it was like 39 or something like that. Or 40, I don't know, it was something. It was 45, 43, I think it was 43. But since October, I've only ejaculated 3 times, including that one time in October, so, and it's fucking the end of March now, so I almost never ejaculate. I have no desire to ejaculate. For me, ejaculating is a fucking mistake. If I ejaculate, I fucked up, really. And once you go, as long as I've gone without ejaculating, and you ejaculate, oh my god, it's like getting your ass beaten down. It's awful. It's terrible. So, sex magic in general, that's in a nutshell. I guess I'll cut this video short, keep it short. I'll expand on this a little bit later, but I just wanted to illustrate some of these points. And hopefully the lighting worked out. I hope I look semi-presentable. It's Saturday morning right now, so thanks.